We will start off with our sutra, Juni Rai, on page 25 in our service book.
Can I ask that everyone please put your hands together in Gasho or bow your head in contemplation as we say together, Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Nox, Namo Nox, Namo. Keshu te ni 薬女水がねにょうろ一種世法無名字こが将来みなそいそ無絶無悪名薬無女になくのう主任死信教依存こが将来みなそいそ無量無勉強無所主悪知識往生不大死亡ないこが将来みなそがせにそんくのくじ修善無如海水小薬前音小上者平成主小非公なまなめなまなめなまなめなまなめなまなめなまなめがにしくのく病のせいさいのほんもないしおうじょうあなCan I ask that everyone please once more put your hands together in Gasho or bow your head in contemplation as we say once again, Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Nots, Namo Nots, Namo Nots, Namo.
Please rise if you are able for the reading of the three treasures on page 3, and then we'll have a gatha when we see the golden sun following. Okay. The three treasures. Fortunate is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Rare is it to encounter the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not seek the truth of the Dharma in this life, in what life shall we find it? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together be absorbed into ourselves, the principle of the way to enlightenment, and awaken within us our highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the Dharma and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in a life of harmony, in a spirit of the universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriad of kalpas, hard is to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful teaching. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Aidavats. Namo Aidavats. Namo Aidavats. Please turn to page 183 for the Gatha, When We See the Golden Sun. Thank you. You may be seated. And now we'll have a Dharma message from Reverend Cindy. Oh, and here she comes.
Can I ask that everyone please put your hands together in Gasho, bow your head in contemplation as we say as I read these words from the Amida Sutra. Sariputra, just as I now praise the inconceivable virtues of Amida Buddha, so do the Buddhas residing in the eastern quarter. There are Buddhas residing in the southern quarter. There are Buddhas residing in the western quarter. There are Buddhas residing in the northern quarter. There are Buddhas residing in the nadir quarter. There are Buddhas residing in the zenith quarter, numerous as the sands of the Ganges. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. And I know yesterday was a very interesting day, with it being very warm in the morning. I thought it was very similar to a California morning, like no clouds, pretty hot, no wind. And then it became rainy in the afternoon time. So I think I'm still getting used to the northwest weather up here. So today I thought it would be nice to go over something that I sort of mentioned last week. And that is, if we remember, last week was Hanamatsuri, which is our flower festival, which is the day we remember the birth of Prince Siddhartha Gautama, who is the being who became Shakyamuni Buddha, who started Buddhism in India 2,500 years ago. And last week, I decided to recount the story of the four gates. And one of the things that I said was that the directions do matter. And so I know a lot of people came up to me last week and was like, you didn't talk about the directions. Why do they matter? Okay. And so I thought today would be a nice day to talk about why the directions are important. Now, in America, right, we learn our cardinal directions, the four cardinal directions, a certain way, right? And it's usually recited thusly forever and ever in the same way, right? And that, at least for me growing up, was that we had to learn the cardinal directions as north, south, east, and west, right? It has to be in that order. Can't be any other order, because then you mess people up. Right? North, south, east, west. And part of that is because, right, you say, like, northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest, right? And so putting the north and south first is important. Then putting the east and west next is important. And they probably do east to west because, right, the sun goes from the east to the west. Probably. I have no idea, right? There's rules in languages that you never understand. But at the same time, when I was learning Buddhism, is that they recite their cardinal directions differently. Right? They recite the cardinal directions differently. And that is sort of what I paraphrased from the Amida Sutra, one of the three Pure Land Sutras that we use in our school of Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu. And there is this section called what we call the Lopodan section. And this is the 6 directions section. And so in this section, Shakyamuni Buddha is reciting to his disciple Sariputra that the list of not all of the Buddhas, but some of the Buddhas in the 6 directions. And so the thing is, and this corresponds also to the 4 gates story, is that Shakyamuni Buddha starts out with the eastern direction, and then goes to the southern direction, and then goes to the west, then goes to the north. And the other 2 directions are Nadir and Zenith. We don't have to worry about those right now. But they basically make the directions 3-dimensional, I guess, in a way. Right? And so just like the 4 gate story, right? Shakyamuni Buddha, well, I shouldn't say Shakyamuni Buddha. Prince Siddhartha Gautama, at the age of 29 years old, went out of the east gate first, then the south gate, the west gate, then the north gate, right? East is where he saw the old person. South is where he saw the sick person. West is where he saw the deceased person. And the north is where he saw the monk or the mendicant, right? The ascetic. And this is important, right? Because this illustrates a important point of why the directions matter. Again, going back to how we recite our directions here in America, north, south, east, and west. If you look at it, right, it's very linear. Right? North, south, north, south. Then go east, west, east, west. Very linear, right? Very linear. Very linear. But when we do this in Buddhism, right? East, south, west, north, east, south, west, north, east, south, west, north. It becomes a circle. It becomes a circle. And so that's very important because in Buddhism, things are never linear. Things are never in a straight line. Well, they can be. There's always exceptions to the rule. But for most things, right, things are circular. Things are circular. Right? the fact that Prince Siddhartha went through the gates, right, showed oldness, sickness, death, thinking about suffering. Right? And this is a constant thing we do throughout life, right? We don't go from old to young, but we think about like getting old. We think about, or we end up getting sick, right? We end up experiencing death, especially the death of a loved one. And then we always think about, why do we have to go through this, right? And it's this constant circle. Constant circle. And this also illustrates samsara, this world of suffering, this world of constant birth and death. In Buddhism, and in a way, Jodo Shinshu, we understand that there's this thing called reincarnation. And I say Jodo Shinshu is a little different because it's not that we don't believe in reincarnation. It's we believe that we stop it at a certain point. And that'll be for a different Dharma message, okay? It goes a little too deeply. But it is understood that, right, we are constantly in this circle of birth and death, in that we are born in this world, we pass in this world, and then we are born again in this world, and then pass away again, right? And it also says that we reincarnate into the different realms, which again, another Dharma message. But we constantly do this, and it's circular, right? Again, a way to illustrate this are these dragons up here, right? I know I talked about this in the previous Dharma message, but right, this one's the closed one, this one's the open one. So the dragons have, like, one has an open mouth, one has a closed mouth, right? Open mouth means life or beginning, and the closed mouth means death or the end, right? And thus is a representation of samsara, right? Birth and death, right? This constant circle. Right? And so there are many things in Buddhism that are very circular, which is why those directions are important, that you do it in that certain order. As to why we don't start off at the north, why we don't start off at the south, or we don't start off at the west, I have no idea. I will definitely ask some of the ministers about that. But it's important to know that the story of Prince Siddhartha is circular. And that is also because, according to the sutras, all the other Buddhas had a similar life to that. So in a way, their lives are circular in that every Buddha has had a similar life to become a Buddha. And so, it is important. Not saying that how we recite the four cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, is wrong. Right? But in Buddhism, right, it is important to remember that things are circular. Things are circular. And so, I'm hoping this answered your question as to why I said the directions matter last week. And if not, you, again, always welcome to come up to me. And if I know the answer, I will let you know. If I don't, then I will always try to look it up. Because, again, though I am a minister and that though I have studied in Jodo Shinshu more, it does not mean that I know everything. And that's also important. Actually, that's another Dharma talk, so I apologize. Going into like 4 Dharma talks, and that's not how I should do it. But, right, it's learning something, forgetting something, again, circular. Learning, forgetting, learning, forgetting. Okay? So I wish to continue to learn with you all. I wish to continue to do other things with you all. And please remember, things are circular. Things are not linear. Okay. So, in closing, can I ask us to please put our hands together in Gasho, which in a way is circular in of itself, and have us all please recite Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
You're confusing me. That's right, coming from all directions. Well, thank you, Reverend Cindy, for your Dharma talk. If you are able, please rise for the Gatha Ondok-san 2 on page 153, and then remain standing for the Daily Creed of Jodo Shinshu. Please turn to page 8 for the Daily Creed of Jodo Shinshu. And read along with me. Realizing enlightenment is assured and reciting the Nembutsu, I shall live my life cheerfully and positively. Understanding the oneness of life and cultivating self-reflection, I shall diligently attend to my life's tasks in gratitude. Recognizing the Dharma path, I shall help spread the teachings of the Buddha. Appreciating the Buddha Dharma, I shall respect and help others working for the good of society. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Okay, thank you. You may be seated. Do we have any guests or first-time visitors today? Okay. Announcements. Again, make sure you pick up the announcement sheets for current announcements, and we have a few more.
Yeah, the ABA has a couple of activities coming up. The first one is a visit or field trip to the Seattle Asian Art Museum this Friday. We have 13 people signed up. We have 7 spots still available, and they're paid for. So, you know, if you want to sign up, it's on the back sheet, the bulletin board. Also, we have the steak barbecue, which would be May 13th. There's a sign-up sheet on the back. Thank you.
There's a nice reminder on your flyer today, but I need to plea because we are still needing people to help at the plant sale, May 4th, but I need help on Wednesday, May 1st from 10 to 12, and on Friday, May 3rd from 10 to 12. And I have no one signed up to help for the actual sale. So I really need help because Janice and I can't do it ourselves. We'll need help with people directing people to the different plants and maybe educating them on what they are, and bagging things up or taking them to the counter to pay for it and things like that. Also, I need boxes. If anyone has any nice sized boxes that people can carry their plants home in, that would be greatly appreciated. And you can bring that anytime between the 1st to the 4th when we have our sale. Okay, the sign-up sheet is in the back. I'm really crossing my fingers, please. Thank you.
This is a reminder and kind of a plea. We're having our Engaging the Dharma session right after this. And we have a plethora of donuts. So those, yeah, they are circular. They are circular. And so we need people to at least eat the donuts. Thank you.
This is a preliminary announcement. We're trying to organize our next Timeless Classics cooking class on Saturday, May the 18th. So everybody's got a plea today. My plea is maybe for one or two good cooks who might like to lead us in preparing something to check in, and we'll try to get that organized. More information next week. Thank you.
So I have two announcements. One is a reminder to anyone who ordered the sukiyaki bentos. Look at the email that you got. It should say a time, and that's the time frame you should go and pick up your sukiyaki/chicken teriyaki bentos at Tacoma Buddhist Temple. Again, this is sorry for everyone else who couldn't get a bento order. This was pre-order only. So again, if you ordered a sukiyaki/chicken teriyaki bento from Tacoma Buddhist Temple, please look at the time on your email. And if it doesn't say a time, let me know, because I could really quickly call Tacoma and ask if they have you down for a certain time. Okay. Secondly, sorry, I'm going to do this in Japanese because it wasn't in the program yet, and I totally understand it's about a month out. So I apologize for everyone. 5月16日にまた、日本語保養を再開します。16日は、新蘭町のご命日なんですけど、木曜日かな、木曜日、16日の11時にまた日本語法要をやりさせたいと思っております。ぜひ時間があればぜひ来てください。ありがとうございます。
Any other announcements? Maybe last thank you to everyone that came out yesterday morning and helped with the planting at the with Auburn Clean Sweep and the planting out at the Auburn Veterans Park. I think everybody had a happy time, and it was sunny at that point in time. Okay, so we'll end the service with our closing words, if you can remember them, because at least I have my. My life is not only my life, but also the life of others' sacrifices, kindness, thoughtfulness, and patience. I am grateful. Namo Aidavatsu. Namo Aidavatsu. Namo Aidavatsu. Thank you for attending today's service. If you haven't gone Oshoko before, please do so before leaving the Hondo. So, thank you.